Good morning, YouTube. My name is Paul Haney, and this is the Woods Walker School Self-Reliance channel. Today, come up here on the property, we've got several wild hogs up here, and I wanted to build a hog trap up here. So that's what I'm going to be documenting for you today, and we'll go ahead and get right on that. First step on building this hog trap, we're building a corral-style trap, which is going to be built with cattle panels and T-posts. So the first thing we got to do is figure out the circumference of the trap. It's going to be a round trap, so we got to figure out the circumference. Our cattle panels are approximately 16 foot long, just a little over 16 foot, and our guillotine door, which we're going to use, is about 3 foot, about 3.5 foot, basically. So we're going to figure out the circumference of the trap, and I'll put the math down here below. But we'll figure out the circumference of the trap before we can find out the radius of the trap, and then once we get to that point, then I'll get back with you and I'll show you the next step. Alright, so what's happening right now, I've got my kids and their friends up here to help us out. So Zach here is scribing a line. We found out that the circumference was about 51.5 feet. So the radius is going to be about 8.2 feet. So basically we measured off that much string. We have a stake staked in the middle right there by Kyle. And Zach has the other end of the string to scribe the line around the circle. So we'll let him scribe that line and then we'll set our posts. Okay, so we've laid out the cattle panels around the circumference of the trap area, and we put the T-post down here, which we laid out 12 of them, about every 3 feet or so. The guillotine door is a little over 3 feet. Now you'll notice up here to the top of the trap, right up about there where Kyle's sitting at, that's where we're going to place the door. The reason we want to put that door there is because there's a little road bed where the hogs travel. They actually cross through this gap right up here, cross over the fence line, come down this road bed. So we want the door for the guillotine trap to be facing that road bed towards where they're traveling back and forth, so that they can come through and make it a lot easier for them to get in the trap. We don't want to make it confusing for them, which they'd find out a way in regardless. But we want to make it as easy as possible for them to get in that trap and get acclimated to coming into the trap. All right. So now we're going to start driving these stakes around the circumference, and it's important when you drive the stakes, you want to have the flat side of the stake facing in, with the ridge side facing in, with the single bevel facing out. That way, it gives it more support whenever the hog runs into the trap. It's going to give it a lot more support to keep it from getting knocked over, keep cattle panels from getting knocked over. All right, so we'll go ahead and start doing that, and we'll get right. Get some fresh ground. And try to hold it as straight up and down as possible. Because the thing we do is lean back. Whenever the guillotine door falls, then the hog's going to charge all around there. It'll bounce all around this place, and if it's leaned back, there's a chance that they could run straight out of it. Watch your hands. That's good.
A hog can't jump, like, can they jump pretty high?
They can jump really high, but they're going to attack more the places that they can see to get out than they will try. They'll actually climb on each other's back and try to get out. Make sure you're straight up and down there. You're good. Good? Yep. That's good. You ready, Beth?
She's been filming the whole time.
I'm ahead of you, Dad.
Oh, that's the way. Just stand straight right.
Go ahead and take it all the way over that post. Alright, you ready?
I won't be the monologues.
I'm already filming.
Alright, so for this part, we want to stand the guillotine door up. There's a T-post in the side of it here, and we're going to measure for the next T-post. So you want to make sure you can get it up against that one really good and tight. Look where the circle comes around the side. Get your next post. So we want to set it in as tight as possible to the side of that. Then we're just going to take our guillotine door out and lay it down. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take and put the guillotine in between these two. What we're going to do is pick it up, and so we can slide it down in there. So pick up on the side there, Chris. Okay, so now the door's set. We'll go ahead and we're going to wire this door to these posts to where it can't be pulled off, and then we'll start putting up the cattle panels. All right, so we've got the guillotine door in place. We're getting ready to start putting the cattle panels up. Now, generally I use rebar ties to tie this thing up to here. I'm fresh out of rebar ties, so I've got some just galvanized fancy wire. It's uninsulated wire that we're just going to take and put it around the T-post and around the fence, and get it tied in real good and tight. And then we're going to put about maybe four ties all the way up and down the T-post to make sure that it's good and secure. So we'll get that done, and then we'll get back to you.
Easy peasy. Remember to wait it. There we go. That's good.
Nice.
There.
Very nice.
Nice.
So nice.